What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well out there. For today's video, we're taking a guitar teacher's perspective from this past weekend's Grateful Dead's 60th anniversary shows with Dead & Company, specifically Sunday night's second set opener, Scarlet Fire, the meeting of Trey, Anastasio, and John Mayer on stage. So let's go. Cool, so let's talk GD60 and Dead & Company from this past weekend. A lot of fun. My girlfriend and I were able to go to the shows on Saturday and on Sunday. Sunday being, I think, for a lot of us, the highlight of the 3-day show run. Specifically, Scarlet Fire second set opener with Trey and Anastasio. You know, finally, Trey and John on stage together. Really like a groundbreaking moment, I think, for a lot of us in the jam band world. Just incredible. How I saw it was, you know, maybe I have a different perspective as a teacher, but you really saw their two styles and how they're different from each other. You know, how they have their own vocabulary, their own phrasing, essentially how they've each approached the music, thus resulting in their own style, which was really amazing. I described it to somebody on Instagram like In-N-Out and Shake Shack burgers. Both great burgers, they have their time and place, but different approaches, you know? They're both good. So seeing Scarlet Fire with Trey was just, how do you say it, like, it was different. You know, a lot of chord tones, a lot of triads. His phrasing was different, maybe a bit more calm and caressed. I posted on my Instagram story a video with the caption, Triads with Trey, and another one like, nice chord tones, because that's his vocabulary over those progressions. And it was really cool. And, you know, I don't know if eye-opening was the word, but again, proves that fundamentals are so, so important, right? So the previous scene, as you saw, was sort of my interpretation of the Scarlet solo. Kind of in the mind of you know, if I was Trey, how would I approach it? So I got my 335, semi-hollow, not fully hollow like his Languedoc. Plugged in the TS9 Tube Screamer into my deluxe reverb, and that was the system for those tones. So let's talk about what I noticed. First off, the progression. We all know that progression. Classic Grateful Dead, classic Mixolydian scale. So when it came to seeing Trey, it was almost like phrasing into chord tones, right? So if I engage the Tube Screamer to sort of get that vibe, you know, he would do stuff like, triad. Chord tone. So over the fast part, the A, E, B, triads. Right? And he knows them like the back of his hand on the top three strings. Another one, which, you know, for me was a bit difficult when trying to, you know, do this improv jam in the beginning, was Trey's use of really the top three strings. So he would see B Mixolydian and sort of his limit as the G string. So he knew he was just on it on the top three strings. He knew where he wanted to go and he knew how to get there, right? I think if we look back, you know, in fairly well, and just in general context, I think the chord changes were a bit fast for Trey in the past. But seeing him on Sunday was like, this guy, man, he's an incredible guitar player, and he knows his fundamentals, and he knows how to maneuver on the fretboard so fluidly. Now, when it came to Fire in the Mountain, that's when we got, let's say, the dueling jam between Trey and John. And Trey sticking to chord tones, where John, I think, maybe captivated me a bit more, was he would enter into his phrasing with some really great lines. Whereas Trey would maybe not play it safe, is the word, but he would slide into them. John would run into them. He'd do a head start, and so when the downbeat came on his entrance, he was there, and the lead up phrasing was so, so good. If I do something like, let's do something like maybe. Maybe, I'm not sure if that's how I would play it or my interpretation of John, but it was a bit more active. Trey would maybe do. A lot more triads in that approach versus the previous approach. Regardless of the style, it was just, again, completely eye-opening seeing these two masters of their craft, masters of their instrument, speak the same language but different dialect. And that was so, so cool. Well, all right, guys, that is today's video and my interpretation of how Trey and Anastasio approached the chord changes in Scarlet Begonias and Fire in the Mountain from this past weekend. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.